I feel like spending time together. I like the way that the flow has gone the past 2 days.
Yeah.
It's like come over, go do some shit, live life a little together, do an episode, go to sleep, have a slow morning, talk about things that we're not ready to talk about on the podcast.
That's a slow morning to you?
Slow morning?
Did you say slow morning?
Oh, I woke up like an hour before you and did like my stuff that I wanted to do.
You woke me up in the worst way and then immediately started talking about motherfucking astrology. Like, straight up.
And
like 27 seconds after I opened my eyes, you're like, so how do you feel about...
Do you want to listen to this book?
Yeah, like, what the fuck? It's fine. I'm with it. I want all
What
this
I mean by slow morning is like, we didn't jump into doing shit. We like woke up, we had coffee, we had conversation. I'll be more slow at the immediate.
I mean, it's fine.
First 10
it's
minutes
fine. I want all the smoke. It's all good.
And that's you being petty, coming out to save the day. I feel like it's the positive aspect of your pettiness.
Explain.
Explain.
Positive petty.
Positive petty because you're an instigator.
Yeah.
And it sparks the fire.
Yeah. Okay. I'll give you that. Yeah, if instigating was an Olympic sport, oh my God. Do you have any idea how many fights I started in junior high, bro? So many fights. I'd be like, you gonna let him talk to you? I wouldn't let that nigga talk to me like that. Like, shit, couldn't be me. Oh, my favorite is, oh, bro, you better than me, bro. You better than me, bro. That's my favorite one because it's like you're boosting them up, but at the same time, you're actually saying like, If I was a worse person, I'd be calling you a little bitch right now. But because I'm working on myself, I'm acknowledging that, yeah, that's my favorite one. You better than me, bro. Couldn't be me. There's a bunch of good ones I got.
What does that mean?
What?
Though.
What?
Really break it down.
What part?
Better than me. Is it like feigning humility or like what is?
It's saying like, okay, let's say somebody says something about you or does something to you, and you let it slide. I'm saying you're more mature than me because I would be putting my hands on this person. I'd be beating this person's ass. But since you're cool, calm, and collected and mature, you better than me. Yeah, it's a very twisted, fucked up instigation tactic because you're preying on their morality while simultaneously putting yourself down, which justifies it, I guess.
There's a device in comedy where you do something similar. It's like everyone appreciates self-deprecation, whether it's like genuine or not. Because that's essentially what it is.
Yeah, because
you're just saying it more literally instead of using it as an artistic device. Unless I suppose in this case your art is instigating. So
instigating is an art.
I'm gonna try sitting on this today.
Copy.
You wanna try the kneeling chair?
No, I'm good.
It's just
that's
too much.
That's that's one of them exercise balls, is it not?
Yep. Good for your core.
I like core.
I like parkour.
Oh, you don't know that reference. I gotta show you that acidic, neutral. You ain't seen that?
No. Do we have to watch it right now?
No. I'm not putting. Who got the darkest water in this motherfucking line, man?
I have an idea.
What?
I'm gonna grab.
How about
grab a cigar box guitar?
Bet.
You wanna pick?
Pick. No.
Just noodle around on that for a second.
Okay. I was doing something cool this morning. It was a little bluesy thing.
You know what they call that cigar box? The sitar of the South.
What?
The sitar of the South. Is that so drony? So that would explain the semi-Eastern influences, but also Spanish. Can you describe to me the difference between both?
Between what?
Can you play what sounded Middle Eastern?
It was that drony thing that. So like the.
Can you talk to me about the scale you're playing?
Hear that dissonance right there. So it's like the little subtle bends, not like the.
Yeah.
That's blues, but it's more subtle.
And you're really letting the strings resonate. There's not a lot of fancy rhythm stuff going on. It's more drony and heartbeat and consistent.
Here versus.
Totally.
Right.
So talk to me about it modally. What's happening modally that makes it sound Middle Eastern? Would you even put it in that context?
Yeah. Because like with the. So I want to say it's like Phrygian and like Locrian stuff that they rock with that flat 2 kind of heavy. That gives me like that Eastern vibe. But that can also sound like a Malagueña Spanish kind of deal, which is I think
1 flat 2 and 4.
Well, yeah.
What about 3? Is it major or minor? I guess that's the difference between Locrian and the other one you said.
Yeah, cause like with the Spanishy sounding stuff, I'm thinking, I think they flat that 3. Yeah. Cause this right here would be the minor 3rd of, right? But with the Eastern stuff, it doesn't necessarily rely on the modes as much, cause they're not really. They got a whole nother system of what they got going on and how they perceive music and whatnot. But I think that's what it is. I think it's that flat 2 that's making me think Spanish kind of feel, but the droniness is it's kind of like a hybrid.
Can we do some Eastern stuff for a hot second?
Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing, but of course. My nigga, did you just pull an accordion out of thin air, bro? What is this and where's it been and why do you have it?
Where it's been is actually a great place to get started today.
All right, well, okay, well, we can start.
Where this accordion has been. Do you want to wear the headphones today or should I wear the headphones?
All right. Sponge is actually really good at accordion.
That's dope.
Yeah, believe it or not.
That's another story. I like that. So this accordion is something I asked for Christmas, like my sophomore year of college, probably.
Why did you want an accordion?
Because I just wanted anything that made a unique sound. And this was the cheapest one on Amazon. Just a
How
toy.
much?
Probably like less than $50 easily.
Yeah, accordions get expensive.
Mm-hmm. So it's not the greatest quality. It creaks more than it resonates. And you hear that? There's something loose in there. Honestly, I'd probably have more fun taking this accordion apart and using the things inside. Man, we might cut into this. That could be a fun episode.
Cutting into the accordion?
Cutting into an accordion. To my knowledge, it kind of works like a harp.
Are we recording right
harmonica.
now?
Uh-huh.
You ain't even tell me, dog. Like, it's okay. I ain't tripping. It's okay. I ain't tripping. I'm still noodling.
So I got this in college. I just wanted to make sounds. I remember saying to some professor at Montevallo, who shall remain unnamed in this moment, because I'm going to talk a little smack. I was like, I want to have a room full of instruments when I grow up. Like, I want to learn to play as many instruments as possible. And they're like, people spend their entire lives mastering one instrument. Who are you to think you can play many? Something to that extent.
Wow. That's how does that make you feel?
I just, in the moment, it made me feel like, ugh, I'll prove you wrong, or like, you don't know anything kind of thing. But in hindsight, how it makes me feel is like a little bit sad that people feel as if they can't engage in multiple things, that they have to, laser focus in on one thing and become oblivious to all of the other possibilities out there.
Yeah, well,
I get it. Mastery and expertise is something that is quantifiable and you can use to buy, sell, trade. Your skill is marketable because you're highly specialized, that's fine.
My problem is the word mastery. That's subjective. I don't care what piece of paper you got. I could care less. Mastery is 100% subjective, because there are people that consider themselves to be masters of their instrument, but they don't know how to express themselves with their instrument without some music on a piece of paper that some rando wrote, and they don't even know. They just understand how to read the music, right? And that's no shade.
Or feel the music, or channel the music.
Right.
You can play notes on a page all day long, but are you really expressing something?
Come on, man.
Are you giving people goosebumps? Are you getting lost in your craft and like letting the world witness you? Are you enjoying yourself? And that's where like my compassion comes in for that particular professor, because it's like, bad. Wow, you really feel like I can't say how they feel, but it's just such a limiting attitude to have. Yeah. And that like breaks my heart.
Yeah, especially from the world that I come from, because I come from the world where like the person that plays bass is also the drummer when the drummer is not there, and the person that plays organ is also the person that sometimes plays guitar when the other guy from the other church sits in at the evening service, and then when the guy that is usually the choir director doesn't have a piano. But you know what I'm saying? It's like it's so heavily based in like functionality, like where I'm coming from, like the cloth I'm cut from. Like we ain't got time to be like, oh, you have to dedicate your life to the organ and you can't do anything else. Like you put that in the context of anything else. Like I love comparing music to food, right? It's like saying you can't be a pastry chef and also barbecue on the weekends. Like how dare you? There are people that have dedicated their lives to being a pastry chef. How dare you attempt a brisket? Like, what? No, that's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
That's a great way to think of it.
If we want to eat barbecue, we gonna eat barbecue.
I definitely feel like that attitude made me limit myself, because for a long time I was like, I need a niche, I need a market, I need to get insanely good at this one thing. And you do, in order to market it, in order to like fit in a box in most of the world's eyes so you can market and sell and so on and so forth. I've definitely had that fear or that feeling for a long time that I need to focus on one thing and do only that. However, as I've entered life and creativity with more ease, I realize that whatever interests me, whatever gets me excited, whatever gets me curious is what I need to be engaging with, because eventually all of those unique skills are going to come together into something that is so unique that it could only channel itself through me. Yeah. It could only be born through having all of those experiences.
Well, once again, like that kind of taps into that energy that person had going on. It sounds like they was hating. It feels like they was hating.
Because they were limited, and when you're a limited person, you feel like you have to limit everybody else.
Yeah, you're going to have to tell me off camera who that was. But like, shout out to my boy, Alex Powell. He posted a picture of him with a bass, and he was like, oh, I'm playing bass now. And I commented, I was like, hey, you need to chill. You need to chill. You're doing too much. And that's me throwing shade at the drummers turned bassist. There's always a certain...
I love it when Brax and Sponge like switch places. It warms my heart.
They get on my nerves.
And people in the audience, that's a trick for the show. You know what I mean? Like there's one thing playing a gig, there's another thing playing a show. And there's a storyline, and people are switching instruments and changing spots on stage, and the lights are different. Like that's that is a moment, them switching.
Yeah, but yeah. No, I'll give you that. And don't get me wrong, I love it when they do it. I don't like how happy it makes Braxton to play bass. If I'm being honest, he'd be way too happy. Like, why do you enjoy this so much? Why? If you enjoy playing bass so much, why didn't you? And it's like, I can't hate on him too much because he plays bass. He has bass guitars.
Well, and that's the thing is drumming is his highly marketable skill
Yeah.
because he's insane at it.
Yeah, and same with Sponge. Like, Sponge is a drummer. He has a drum set. He plays drum. So I can't even really hate on him that much. But they always, give me the flack anytime I throw shade at them. They're like, bro, you play multiple instruments too. And I'm like, yeah, but I'm doing it because I'm trying to make a certain sound. Y'all are just, I don't know. I love them to death. But I feel like I'm a little bit toxic in that when I see them super happy, when they're having too much fun, I'm like, all right, we got to get to work. Why are y'all having so much fun? Ain't no sense in that. It's like that teacher. You ever have that one teacher where it's like, if the kids are talking, it's fine, but as soon as they start having fun and giggling, they're like, hey, what are y'all doing? What do y'all got going on? So, but hey, hold on, rewind.
Skirt.
You bamboozled me. You had me going, and I didn't realize we had started, and I ain't even tell these folk what we sipping on. What we sipping on?
We are sipping on some tea with rice. Fermented rice? Roasted rice?
I don't think it's fermented. It's called genmaicha. I think I'm saying that right. I want to say that's it's a Chinese Mandarin pronunciation. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but what it is it's roasted or toasted. One of them. Roasted and toasted are very similar, and the English language sucks for making those rhyme. But they get the rice and they cook it down some kind of way, and then they some kind of way incorporate that into the green tea. So. Yeah. This is one of my favorite bevs. It's good stuff. It's also really good if you like cold brew it. That's how I like to drink it. You cold brew it, pour it over some ice, some lemon juice.
It'd be really interesting to experiment making this tea room temperature, cold water.
Oh yeah.
And like hot water.
Yeah, you probably get a little bit more of the rice flavor with it hot. But the green tea flavor probably comes through a little bit more when you cold brew it and let it sit.
I would imagine the acidity of the green tea pops whenever it's a cold brew.
Yeah, this is good stuff. Especially when this is no sugar, no nothing.
I feel like we need to cheers on
Are
that.
We cheersing?
I'm just excited.
Hell yeah.
For all of these culinary adventures that are happening around our podcast.
Culinary adventures. Oh man, these folks don't even know.
They don't even know. Do we want to get into that, or do we want to circle back into Montevallo? Because we always try to talk about Montevallo.
We're at a fork in the road. We're at a fork in the road.
Yeah.
We can easily, and this road, like, there ain't no place to do a U-turn.
Uh-oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
wait, we can't stop and reverse it even?
There's traffic, cuz. There's
shit.
traffic. So I'm saying, like, we got to chill. That culinary road, man. But let's stick to the script.
Stick to the script.
Cause
stick to the script. I memorize the lines. Cause life is a movie
gonna get
that
us copy
I've
wrote.
seen too many times.
You don't get us copy wrote.
Now we're doing our own version of it.
Look, if we hear me out, if we go down the Montevallo Road, I feel like there might be some exits and some places that we can get back onto that.
Okay.
Culinary. Okay. But if we go down that culinary road, there ain't no exits going back to the Montevallo.
We'll swing it back to the culinary aspect of it.
Okay.
What I feel is pertinent in this moment is revisiting the story of this.
The accordion?
Accordion, yes. Because I got it my sophomore year, Christmas, whatever.
Okay.
And then at some point...
Had me in the first half.
A grand artist in Montevallo that I feel like was a crucial person in the art scene happening in Montevallo, the music happening in Montevallo outside of the music department. Our friend Jacquie Cotillard.
Oh yeah,
Jacquie Cotillard borrowed this for like several, like a year or so, and used it as part of their. What was it? Carl Jr. It was like a infomercial
shout out Jacquie, yo.
Performance art person in a suit trying to sell you things, and It was brilliant. I never saw the show, but this accordion saw the show many, many, many times.
I bet.
I remember a show at Jackie's house in Montevallo, and they had made all these mixtape CDs, and they had tied fishing string around them and just tied them up around their apartment so they were hanging from the ceiling. And after the show, I was like, yeah, like, you know, you can pick a CD that's being suspended from the ceiling right now and take it home and listen to it. You never know what you're gonna get. And so that was really a really neat way to do some avant-garde art and blend mediums and stay true to an artistic expression that is purely exploratory.
You did that. That was some decent word crafting right there. Yeah, you did that.
I'm not even sure what came out of my mouth. I'm glad it sounded clear.
Yeah. You sound like you rehearsed that. But yeah, absolutely. I'll never forget. I don't know if you was at this show at Eclipse.
I was at this show.
At the show.
That was the
Eclipse?
first time I saw Soul Karnival. This is an
Word?
important part of our origin story. Yes, Jacquie opened for you the first time I ever saw Soul Karnival.
What?
Yeah.
I thought Jacquie played after us.
I can't remember.
That's irrelevant, but still, no, I don't even remember. I just remember setting up. I remember going off at the people at Eclipse.
The booking people?
Oh, yeah. Because me and Dobbs, when we were living together.
This is how it works forever and always. It's always been this way.
Yeah.
You try to reach someone by email for like years and months and so much, and then they finally see you live and they're like, oh my God, I want to book you. And it's like, are you serious? Like, I've really been trying to get booked here. So that's why nothing can replace being seen in person and the energy you bring to a room, because that, my friend, cannot be captured on camera and posted on social media. It can be manufactured again and again and again and again, but you don't know it's real until you are fully present.
Talk that shit, man. Talk that shit. Yeah, that's real. That's real.
So y'all played an open mic there, and it was like, okay, now you.
Yeah, like me and it was just me and Dobby too. It was just me and Dobby, and we were trolling. We were up there, like we were having a good time. But yeah, word on the street is Eclipse is supposed to be coming back.
Oh no, that was just a joke about April 8th.
Oh, it sucks. Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, that makes me upset.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people that were messaging me about it, like, oh, Eclipse is coming back.
No. Someone bought the building so we can have like a third, fourth, or fifth Mexican restaurant in town. That's the last I heard about it. But
yeah, which is
it's
crazy.
It's gonna take forever, like that pizza shop. You remember
Yeah.
that Slice House was like coming
Nobody
2019.
Nobody even goes there.
Coming
now.
2019.
It's so crazy.
Coming 2020. I'm like, that is exactly what it was like putting out that Learning to Love EP. I was like, you're gonna do it for like 3 years. And I really hard identified with that Slice House sign when I was in Montevallo.
Yeah.
And it's like, I couldn't release that until I was like ready to release Montevallo as a part of my life.
Oh, that's depressing.
Because around the time I released that, I mean, man, the man who shall remain unspoken, his mom came to my album release show, but he didn't.
No comment.
Yeah, so, anywho, that's an interesting parallel that just kind of popped into my head.
Yeah, off the record, you're gonna have to tell me more about that, because that's not adding up. But whatever.
So it's like I had to leave Montevallo. I did release the album to leave Montevallo, and I had to leave Montevallo for that pizza shop to finally open.
Yeah. No, it's. I feel the same way about. There was something else in Montevallo that was supposed to open up. That took a minute. I can't remember.
Coffee shop?
Yeah.
I think it closed shortly after and then turned into something else.
Yeah.
And that coffee shop, the one that was right below my old apartment.
Right.
Man, shout out to the Strand Theatre. I lived there in Montevallo with the man who shall remain unnamed. But I lived there. It was the first place I lived by myself also. It was an old movie theater, and I lived up in the projection booth apartment.
It's weird hearing you talk about this place like that.
It's a magical place.
Because I still be there. Shout out to my boy. Shout out to Station them. You know what I'm saying? I still be over there, so it's weird you talking about this place like it was, like it's still a very.
It would be too heavy for me to like be in that building at this moment in my life, but maybe that's the closure I need.
Oh, you so soft. You such a little baby, bruh.
Man.
Oh, you just gonna walk through the door and have an emotional breakdown at the steps?
No, but it might help. I don't know. That apartment meant so much to me. It was so hard for me to leave that apartment.
Are we doing this?
Yeah, we're talking about Montevallo.
All right.
Oh my gosh, so much of my life happened there.
Yeah.
You know, and I was afraid to let go of that because it was so beautiful, but my life has become so much more beautiful when I let go of that because I knew it was time to.
Yeah.
But it was difficult.
Well,
you need to answer that?
No, it's just Dobbs.
Man, answer it.
Answer
Why
not? Dobbs? All right, fuck it. Hey. I don't know. I can't call it. I ain't in the middle of nothing. I'm definitely not up to anything. I'm definitely not recording this conversation. That's for damn sure. But talk to me.
What's up?
Are you calling me or did I call you and you hit me back? I don't know.
You sent me a message and you was like, can you talk?
Oh yeah, that was before I hopped into this podcast. Let me finish doing what I'm doing. I do want to finish talking to you about True Detective, but I also want to talk about some gigs in October. So, yeah, Matthew McConaughey a fool in that final episode, but we'll get on that tangent later. All right, bro, peace. Hey man, if y'all ain't seen True Detective, season 1 is crazy. Woody Harrelson, Matthew McConaughey. Oh man, it's fire. Yeah. It's good. It makes me never want to go to Louisiana again, but it's good. What are you doing?
Man, you were doing something else. I remembered that I found my magnets the other day, and I don't have anything magnetic in my room other than this desk that I'm using for my computer and the recording equipment. So
I feel like every time oh, that's so. I ain't gonna. You trying to get me canceled?
Read this out loud.
Some people are. Let's see. Some people are the flowers in your garden of life. Others are the manure that makes your garden stronger. Wow.
What you think about that?
Wow. I feel like what's important to acknowledge here is that what I'm getting is like haters are necessary. Haters are natural. Mm-hmm. Haters are very much so a part of the process, just like the people that love you and care about you are, right? And so it's like, yeah, you got to use what they got going on to benefit your growth, and by all means necessary. So that's kind of what I got from that. Going back to Montevallo, once upon a time, you thought that I hated you.
I did. I wasn't used to the way you interact with people and show them that you love them.
You mean lack of interaction? Bro, you got to understand, when I was at Montevallo, I ain't talked to nobody unless they spoke to me. Like, I was very introverted. But the thing about me is there are certain things that will always outweigh my introvertism. Mm-hmm. And one of those things is curiosity. And so, like, if something sparks my curiosity, I will compromise my inner introvertism to figure out what's going on. And that's kind of sort of how I became friends with the very few people that I consider friends from school, from Montevallo. That was kind of the case. It was that, like, okay, there's something going on here. I gotta know why in the hell this person is doing this or doing that or whatever the case may be. But for the most part, like, I didn't really talk to anybody. And so this story, this tale of like, oh, I thought you used to hate me, or bro, I have a resting mean mug. I can't do anything about it. It's just
I'm
my
sensitive
face.
to that.
Yeah,
I'm super sensitive.
It's just
to that.
my face, and in some contexts, it's not necessarily like a learned behavior. It's just how I am. It's almost like a defense mechanism that I've subconsciously built in to keep people from talking to me, because why are you talking to me?
Honestly,
You know?
I'm kind of there these days. I used to be like, go out of my way to make everybody else comfortable and be like super friendly and people pleasy and blah 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 blah. And these days, I'm just like, people who want simple answers to simple questions, I just don't have time for those conversations anymore.
Well, I'll tell you this, and this might give you a little glimmer of hope. The people that will interact with you despite what your mean mug got going on, your RSBS, whatever it's called, the people that can see through that, usually there's a more genuine connection there. Usually it's a little bit realer than just like Facebook. That's why I couldn't.
When did we become friends? Do you remember the first like conversation we had? Do you remember like first impressions?
Yeah. Well, I mean, my first impression of you, I was like, man, I was like, man, this chick out her mind. Like, I thought you were crazy. You low key, like, you were always riding around on a bicycle talking to everybody, and you was always super friendly. I don't really like.
You don't like friendly people.
I don't like friendly people. No, I like, and so that was like first impression. I was like, okay, I need to keep my distance from this person. And then randomly, because I used to skip class and go to the computer lab and make trap beats. Right.
I remember that. I think you mentioned that before.
I was up in the computer lab. I'm cooking up some fire. I got them 808s hitting. I got them hats sounding good. Like I'm in there just making like this super gutter, just like it sounds like Black and Miles and Gunpowder type beat.
Hell yeah.
And then you were like, hey, do you want to go to this concert at the theater? And it was a Led Zeppelin. It was Alabama Symphony Orchestra does Led Zeppelin. One of the most amazing.
Is it the Alabama Theater?
Yes, bro.
I'm vaguely remembering this.
Yes.
I don't remember the parking situation.
You don't remember? See, this was crazy. You had invited me, and you were like...
because we needed credits for recital class, and I think the impression I got was that you were always showing up late to music theory in the morning, because I was sitting with Maddie. We had a blind girl that we went to school with, and I would scribe her tests and sit. And honestly, that was a blessing for me because I needed to sit through theory and skills 1 and 2 again. It was amazing. I got paid to take those classes like a second time, which was good for me. Anywho, you were always coming in late to class, and I think I sensed the tension between you and the professors.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this kid probably needs recital credit hour things, like.
That's what was going on.
Who knows?
You claim you don't remember.
I'm trying to subconsciously piece back together this moment because you've told me the story before. I'm like, I don't remember exactly, but it's as it sounds more familiar.
Yeah,
maybe I'm just trying to fill in the details.
No, it hurt my feelings that you don't remember because you remember the address was the wrong place. Had me going somewhere down 4th, and it was like way far away from where we needed to be, and then we had to like meet up in the parking lot and then go all the way back. You don't remember none of that? That's crazy, yo. That's crazy.
It's probably because I have a great selective memory, and I tend to remember the positive things and not the pain in the ass things.
Oh, it wasn't that much of a pain. It was just typical.
Because of your instigating petty nature, it sounded like it was a big deal.
I mean, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you could make that argument, but I just remember the concert blowing my mind. It was fire. Not anything that I would have ever just like naturally sought out. Like I'm not looking for ASO concerts. I'm just not. I'm not wired like that.
Heard.
But
Same.
I'm very much.
I just had a friend in the symphony orchestra who was giving me tickets all the time.
Yeah. No, I was grateful for that concert and that whole experience.
They gifted me $10,000 in a Miata once too, but I was like, I can't accept that for what?
You gotta chill. But hold on. I do want to say this. I still failed recital class that semester.
Dang.
Still. Yes.
See, and that's a great lesson for me in hindsight that I could only see now. It's like, you just can't fucking help other people. I'm not ready to be helped.
Yeah, no, I failed the hell out of recital class.
Can you really help anyone? No, you can just support them on whatever journey they're having.
It was just so crazy though, because like I was doing so much, like the concept of like I had to work, yo. I had to get the bag. I had to hustle. I had to do what I had to do.
You had a very different college experience than I did. I was like on full scholarship, lived on campus for my first 2 years. Yeah. Like second 2 years, I lived on campus for 2 years. The third year, so my junior year, I was working at Joe's Italian, and David Poehler and I were renting a house off of Vine Street from shout out to Lioness Lita. that was like a nickname amongst the people who rented from this particular woman. Anyhow, wow. Yeah, I was working at Joe's Italian. I had tried to get a job at Hooters in Pelham because the summer before I worked at the Panama City Hooters. Believe it or not, they do have push-up bras that are big enough to make it look like I could work at Hooters. That's how I paid my way to Europe, and I would also, I loved the deck. I loved waiting tables on the deck, and people would like sometimes ask what I was doing, and I'd be like, yeah, I'm raising money to go to Europe on choir tour. I'm studying opera, and I'd like bust out some opera on the back porch of Hooters.
I bet you had fun. I hate the idea of Hooters.
I was doing Hooters by day and Rocky Horror Picture Show rehearsals by night.
That's wild.
So it was like the most sexual summer ever. Anywho, senior year, 4th year, is when I got to quit the Joe's Italian job and start going to those classes with Maddie. And that's where I met you, because you were like, you were done with all your prerequisites at JSU.
You think I went to JSU?
I can't remember all the initials of these Alabama
You're not
places.
wrong. You're not wrong. It's funny that you say that because I spent so much time at JSU doing everything I had no business doing. I was down there. I would just go to Sponge Nim's house and we'd just be making trap beats, going to Waffle House.
And this was before the Montevallo days.
This was...
during the Montevallo days.
This was during my Northeast Alabama Community College days, but it also seeped over into the Montevallo days. And it was...
as eras in life do.
Yeah, and it wasn't until I kind of had to like leave JSU alone or else I was not going to graduate. Like I just stopped going over there because I wasn't doing my homework. I wasn't going to recital class. Like it is what it is. But yeah, just like that concept of, oh, Cash, I thought you hated me. Like, I've heard that from so many people. Like, you, shout out my homegirl, Adrielle. She thought I hated her. I could think of a couple more. But, yeah, no, I covered a lot of ground in Montevallo. Like, it was a lot going on. It was a crazy time. I couldn't fathom staying in Montevallo 7 days a week. That's crazy.
Did you, man, I was in the Montevallo vortex, fully immersed for the first
and
2 years. And then the 3rd year, I was driving to Pelham to work at Joe's Italian. Yeah. And then the 4th year, I was once again back in the Montevallo bubble because I was, you know what I was doing? I was going to classes with Maddie and scribing her test. And I was working for Cameron Strouss, who was the herbalist working out of Statia's space. So Statia's space, the Strand Theatre, where I lived in Montevallo, was an old movie theater, obviously. Statia built a floor over what essentially would be the audience, and so Statia lived over that whole area. I was in the projection booth. Cameron's apartment was on the back side, like where the front row or the screens would have been.
I thought that's where Alex's room was.
No, Alex is upstairs.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I see.
So downstairs she had like... so for visuals, like the front row where the movie screen would have been was like her living room, her kitchen, her bedroom, and then another bedroom. And then it went back, like, say you're going back seats in the audience, she would do all of her apothecary stuff there. So she would, process her plant medicines. And Stacia and Cameron were best friends. I got to eavesdrop on a lot of conversations before I even knew these women. But I would be like cooking and cleaning for Cameron because she needed help running her business out of her house and making it look presentable for when clients came over and all that kind of stuff. And Stacia would come over at the end of the day. I was watching a lot of actualized YouTube channel videos. There's this dude named Leo who I turned Thomas Frost onto. Anywho, a bunch of philosophy stuff. I was living with David Poehler. Stacia.
Why are you holding this jar like a baby right now?
This is a big jar of water.
Continue.
Anywho, all that to say is when the girl was moving out of the movie theater apartment, Stacia was like, I only like to rent to people I know. Do you know anyone looking to rent? And I'm like, my lease is up in not too long. Yeah. And so that's how I got in there. So I lived in that movie theater apartment like the summer of my senior year because I did it in 4.5 years.
Oh, okay.
So, so I was with Maddie for 2 semesters, which is why I only got to do Theory 1 and Theory 2.
Oh, I see. Okay.
But anyhow.
That's crazy. Like I probably spent more time on 65 than I did in Montevallo.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Man.
A lot of mileage. I almost got 400,000 miles on the Gallant.
Man, rest in peace.
She ain't dead. I just gotta revive it. She just need a little love.
Wayman.
Yeah, she just need a little love, you know. I'm gonna get her back on the road.
So you still got her at the house?
Yeah. I'm gonna put a engine in her.
Man, this leads us to another why in the road.
Oh yeah. We can't talk about vehicles.
We don't want to talk about Chow Bass when car was driving when you met me in Montevallo?
Wait, what?
Chow Bass. That's the name of my Asian gangster car. Or
do you
wait,
know-
before we get off on this intersection potentially, I'm glad we're like marking our exits on the road. I almost lost it, but I'm gonna bring it right back if you give me a second. Recital class, inviting you to the Led Zeppelin thing. I have a question to tie this part in a bow. You saw me in recital class. Was that before or after I invited you to Led Zeppelin?
Before.
Okay, because that makes sense. What was your impression then?
I thought, this chick is out of her mind. I would like for her to keep her distance from me.
You told me something else at some point in time.
I'm memeing right now. I'm trolling.
Man, I can't.
No.
handle it.
I remember the first time you were. I think the first time I like heard you sing was in like an ensemble, but I remember recital class specifically. You were singing a solo. I don't remember the rep or anything like that.
Do you remember what I was wearing?
Of course not.
Do you
Of course not.
remember if it was like from an opera or if it was some like new age living composer esoteric
No,
rep?
dude.
No, you don't remember? Okay.
Listen, I can tell you anything you want to know about Adolphe Sax. He's the guy that invented the saxophone. Anything else other than that, like, nah.
Heard. Well, you saw me in recital class. Don't
Yeah,
remember the rep. Don't remember the outfit. But what were you thinking?
I remember thinking in my head, I can make money with this person's voice. That's what I remember thinking, because I remember listening to how the qualities in your voice, how the timbre of the high register maintained its integrity as you went up the scale, as the like, how do I say what I'm trying to say? So as your range went up and down, there's a certain quality of your voice that stayed consistent that I immediately became a fan of. And I needed that in a lot of the music that I was trying to make. You know what I'm saying? But the last thing that I was finna do was come up to you and be like, hey, you trying to make some music? Because, no, I'm sure you probably had a million people on that type of time that's not, you know, that I'm just not that person. Like, I don't believe in, like, forcing things.
And I don't think I even like sang on anything SK until after I'd graduated and was like living life and we like reconnected.
I think that's correct.
Because I graduated in December 17 and the first thing I recorded with y'all was in Fort Payne in the fall of 2019.
I think that's correct.
So there was some time there where I had graduated and you were doing your thing and we weren't really connected at all. And I remember seeing you, Benny, and Tom play at that coffee shop in like downtown
Calera.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I remember that was the first time I like really met Taylor and was around Maria and like
what? Me and Tate were still beefing then.
No. It was later because you walked her to her car.
I walked Tate to her car in 2019.
Uh-huh. No, not 2019, but when it would have been before then.
Ain't no way, cuz.
Are you sure?
Am I sure?
I feel like, no, Maria and Tay were friends.
Yeah.
So
that's
they were
how.
Always.
And then
that was the first time I met them, and I remember feeling really weird about that, like socially awkward, because it was the first time I felt like the weird older person who like didn't really know y'all, but I was at this gig and I didn't know anyone else, and I like.
Oh, I remember that.
Uh-huh.
I think we might have squashed our beef by then. So that does.
Y'all, I guess y'all weren't dating, but. Yeah. I didn't know what was happening in y'all's social circle. I was still kind of on the outskirts of it.
Hell, me neither. Shit.
And then that was the first thing you asked me to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the first thing I did. Because I was up in Bridgeport, and I was like, yeah, I'm in the neighborhood. No big deal.
Yeah, it's coming back. And another thing that breaks my heart that you don't remember. You don't remember in your apartment when we were trying to get I think it was the chorus to the Groovy Brit. Never will no frown. You don't remember listening to Melodies from Heaven by Kirk Franklin in your apartment to get that style down. And that breaks my heart because I remember scrambling through my brain like, what could I use as a reference point to even like get this person to understand the vibe?
What year was that?
It had to have been a little bit before we recorded in Fort Payne at Lucas's.
Before we recorded Pressure?
I think Pressure was first, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure. It's a blur.
I feel like Pressure was first. Because I don't feel like you ever came over to my Montevallo apartment until after me and Jack Henry started dating. And when I invited you and Tom to play on my album release show, like that's when.
You tripping. Because.
On the timeline? I'm tripping on the timeline?
Yes, your timeline is messed up because we had the song.
That's okay. What is time?
The song that you are always like, oh, can we do this song? Shawty, you dubbed it Shawty Solo.
Man, we ain't done that in a minute.
Well, if you remember, that was before 2019. That was in between.
Oh, because you wrote that song thinking about me because I was that crazy girl. Did you write that song when I was still living in the Vine Street house before I moved in with Alexander Lab? Whoa.
I wrote that song for Dobby when me and Dobby were living together, when he was living with me when I was that had to have been like 2016, 2017 when I wrote it.
Leaving skeletons in the bottom of a soap.
But for whatever reason,
cups don't judge me.
Dobby never I don't know, I guess he just wasn't feeling it or whatever.
When you see me looking by me.
But I don't know. I still think I have like an old recording of. We never did record that song, bro.
Till you walk a day in my shoes.
Yeah, we got to record that song.
Yeah. Honestly, I was just doing my best to do a little background music there. I'm really excited to continue improvising with you and developing music for this podcast. And speaking of music for this podcast. And all these Montevallo memories we got going on, we got some songs we need to talk about.
Well, let's talk.
Juiceboxx.
Oh, yeah. Joyfully Alone.
Yeah. Were you living in Montevallo? No, Juiceboxx is something you wrote like when you were a kid in Scottsboro. That's what I envision.
No. Juiceboxx isn't that old. Juiceboxx comes from very much so living in Jefferson County, experiencing Jefferson County and Birmingham and shiesty, trifling, trespassing, backstabbing, like ooh. That's the energy that Juiceboxx comes from. Juiceboxx comes very much so from, you know, some crime-ridden areas I was brushing my shoulders up against, things like that.
So what year could you say?
Yeah, probably like 2016.
Yeah, that sounds about right because I feel like songs like Lemon Street and Juiceboxx are like before the era that I joined because that was the kind of rep y'all were doing when you were playing at Eclipse for the first time.
I don't think we had Juiceboxx written by the time Eclipse. We might have.
When did you finally get booked at Eclipse?
I want to say it was 2016, something like that.
I feel like fall 16.
But here's the thing though, like I was always at Eclipse. Mm-hmm. Like I was always at the open mics. I would get up there and do open mic poetry. Just whatever, whatever they had going on.
And
I'd just be there hanging out.
And that's when you were living in Jefferson County and like starting to have these experiences. Is that true?
I've been having, yeah. What do you mean? Elaborate. What are you talking about?
The experiences that led to the writing of Juiceboxx. Like, when did y'all release your first album? Like
2016.
Man, I'm so excited to work on a timeline. I
Hold
feel
on,
like that'd be a really fun feature to have on the website.
Yeah. Now that you bring it up. I really don't know. We need to do a timeline because like a lot of this stuff like we're getting to the point where it's not fresh on our minds anymore
and we're getting older and life is being lived and we're making art about it.
You getting older. I ain't getting older. Don't
You
mind
just
me.
had a birthday.
Just a
Don't
little bit.
even.
No, I'm tripping. I'm tripping. So The Border in Between came out 2018. So I was well into Montevallo.
So y'all were writing these songs, but hadn't released any of them yet.
Yeah, it took this album forever.
So it's like that first album, and Pressure was on SK2.
3.
Ah, so y'all released 2 albums before I came on.
No, Juiceboxx. Okay, see, I know what it is. Okay, I see why we're confused. We released Juiceboxx as a single way before the 2021 album came out.
Heard.
Way before SK2. Maybe even like 2 years before.
Yeah.
Because it was before COVID.
Because momentum, happens slowly.
Yeah,
first.
exactly. And so, but yeah, Juiceboxx very much so comes from just like, because like a lot of people don't even understand really what we saying in that song. It's very much so. It's very much so like more so akin to like
that's why it's so hard for me to sing along when we do that show at gigs.
Why?
Because for so long I thought it was.
Oh yeah. Tell these folks what you thought we were saying.
Juiceboxx Karen.
Why? Okay, see, why would we ever say that? Why would I
don't know, but honestly, it feels important. I need to interrupt this beautiful audio interface to do a couple clicks on my computer because I feel like I typed out what I thought it was because I knew I was trying to get it right, so I typed out what was wrong so that I could remember it. I have a whole folder for Soul Karnival on my computer. I hope you know.
Oh, that's awesome.
And on my external hard drive.
But hold on, we can compare what you were.
I hope it's in here.
We're saying. I think you sent it to me one time.
No, the real one.
I could have sworn you sent it to me, and I was like, "What? Why would I ever say Juiceboxx Karen?"
I don't know.
But yeah, no.
This is the most embarrassing shit ever.
Yeah, say it.
Oh my gosh, it's not so. It's
say
the title. Okay, context: July 25th, 2022, 11:07 a.m. Opie rap ? SK. I was talking with my homies. We don't really fuck with groupies, but we fuck with divine feminine beauty.
Is this just some bars?
Of course, she got a booty. Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. I ain't signed up for this because I can. You know what's crazy? I don't like physically blush like unless you're like you have to like look at me really hard to tell. But like I be feeling my cheeks get warm whenever like I get like secondhand embarrassment from somebody.
So you are empathetic.
I told you that. You're giving me secondhand embarrassment right now.
Oh yeah, I'm giving myself firsthand embarrassment.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna close this for now.
Okay, but irregardless, so when did you start? Well, we're gonna get into the lyrics, of course, but like, when did you start writing Joyfully Alone? Like around what time, and how did that come about?
It was on mandolin, and part because of that comment that one professor made about like people spend their whole lives trying to master one instrument. Who are you to think you can play so many? Like, I was having a lot of blockages with piano and guitar because I had taken lessons and I was like taught or told there was a right or wrong way to do it. So there's no joy in the instrument for me because I was like over cerebral analyzing it. And so I was given a mandolin in, by the guy who we wrote that Hairy Leg song. Shout out again to roping in the Eclipse open mic nights. Was that before or after recital class?
That was before. That was actually
Really? You saw me do I Love Some Hairy Legs at
No.
Eclipse before recital
no,
class?
you wasn't up there. Oh, buddy was singing the song to you on some like,
Oh, shit.
you know, this is a song about the girl that I like. And when I figured out who he was talking about, I was like, yeah, I definitely gotta stay the hell away from. You know what I'm saying?
My legs are hairy right now. I'm in a season of hairy legs.
Girl, I ain't trying to look at your legs.
Well, just because I got that poison ivy this summer, and I was like, it spread worse because I shaved it and didn't know.
That sucks.
And so I was like, man,
That sucks.
I'm gonna not shave for a
Yeah,
little
you
while.
seem like you got tough skin because you always be running around barefoot in the woods, rolling around in dirt or whatever you be doing.
It's good for you.
Florida.
Anywho, I don't even know how we went down this
Joyfully
rabbit hole.
alone.
Florida rabbit hole, joyfully alone. Hairy legs guy gave me a mandolin, and he was like, I don't want you to like learn anything about this instrument. I just want you to put your hands on it and play it. Like, have fun.
Man,
Don't stress
nobody
yourself
ever
out.
just gives me instruments. Like, that's crazy.
Man, so he gave me a mandolin, and that's when I started messing around, and I had a loop pedal at that time. So I sucked at playing instruments. I couldn't hold a rhythm and sing at the same time. You know how it is when you're first learning sometimes.
I do not know what it's like to not have rhythm. No, cannot relate.
Man, don't even
You asked
go
for
there.
that.
I'm
You
not
asked for
trying
that.
to
You asked
roast
for
you
that.
right now.
Go,
but sometimes you know you can't rap a certain rhythm and bars and play the rhythm you're trying to play on guitar.
That's two completely different
No,
things,
it's
though.
not. No, it's not. Singing and playing at the same time is just like rapping and playing at the same time.
No.
Sometimes you want to do complex rhythms and lay them on top of each
listen,
other.
I will fight you on this, and I'm gonna tell you why. Listen, if you are crafting the song as you are simultaneously playing the song, that's completely different than you having a verse that you wrote of some bars and then having a song that you played on guitar and then you try to put what you previously rapped with what you previously played on guitar. That is not the same. And that a lot of times that's how that comes together.
Rhythm. I had rhythm. I invited you to roast me, and now I am doing some damage control.
Fair enough.
So when I first got the mandolin, it was really a challenge for me to sing what I wanted to sing and maintain a steady rhythm at the same time. Because I was playing two instruments at once for the first time ever. And so the loop pedal really helped me like come up with simple melodies and layer those. So I could hold rhythm. I knew when the one was. And so as long as I got that first 4 bars or 8 bars or whatever locked down on the loop pedal, I could then build on top of it. Because my brain was coming from the choral perspective because I'd done choir my whole life.
Yeah.
So it's always layering melodies. It's not holding a steady rhythm or chunking along. It's, thinking of the different voice parts. And so I think one of the first songs I wrote on mandolin was called I Get Along With Me. And it's totally like a Disney Channel sounding theme song for like, whatever life. One of the first songs that I ever like played an instrument on, and like, precious times.
There you go.
So that was the first song I wrote. And then I started playing mandolin and I started hearing things in my head that I couldn't execute on the mandolin.
Oh, that sucks. That's a very frustrating
And so,
feeling.
but that is what makes me still to this day gain new skills on whatever instrument it is. It's like I know how to do this. I just have to go really slowly and get it in my muscle memory, and then I can begin to speed it up. And
I'm
it's
like
not
that
like
with piano for sure.
Yeah, it's not like I was like, oh, mandolin is a bluegrass instrument. I'm going to listen to some bluegrass licks and learn these. It was just like my imagination was like, I need some way to flow out of you.
Well, that's kind of the beauty of being self-taught. Like, you're not forced into the parameters of, like, you don't have that discipline attached to, the instrument or the genre attached to the instrument. And so you have like, somewhat a bit of freedom compared to the person that's traditionally trying to learn the mandolin as a bluegrass instrument, or whatever the case may be, fiddle as a bluegrass instrument, acoustic guitar as a bluegrass instrument, as opposed to if you just naturally do what you gravitate towards.
Staying true to your artistic expression, even though you're learning, skills. At the same time.
Being self-taught is low key the coolest flex. Low key, like it's something special. And that this is no shade to anybody who was taught how to play the instrument that they were, but there's a certain relationship that your self-taught people have with their instrument that I feel like is just a little bit more unique and tapped in to their soul, because like I remember as a 7-8-year-old waiting on everybody to leave the house, and I couldn't wait to plug up my guitar. I didn't know what I was doing, but I remember growing with my guitar. Like I remember the first time I held the guitar, it was like 7 times my size. It was massive. And then I remember I hit that first little growth spurt, and I remember my fingers growing, and it was a little easier. And then I remember, hitting puberty, getting taller, playing sports. And it's like guitar was always there. Like I grew with the instrument. It's not detachable from my childhood. Fun story. Shout out to my cousin Miko. Ko-meiko about cut my fingers off. Ever tell you that?
No.
Yeah. So you see these marks on my first 2 fingers here, right here and right here.
Oof.
Yeah.
Ooh.
She almost cut off these 2, which would have sucked.
On purpose?
Nah, I was about to say something I hadn't say. But no, so what was happening is we were playing, and I think it was a curtain rod that was bent. And like those metal curtain rods, they have like those grooves on the inside that like, and it was folded, and she like pulled on it, right? And skin, blood, everything just went up in the air. I'm like,
oh man, what's that word called where you like feel the pain just by people suggesting it?
I don't know.
There's a word for it.
Yeah, I don't know that word.
It's a word that I only got hip to recently. It's kind of like cuteness aggression.
Yeah, I don't know what that is either.
Cuteness aggression, people are like, I just want to eat that baby up. I just want to squeeze that puppy.
I don't like
I just
that.
want to nibble on that cat's toes. Like cuteness aggression.
I don't
It's
like
a really oddly specific thing for neurodivergent people.
Oh, I'm sorry. You backed me in a corner. I'm sorry. Hey, listen, if you have a cuteness aggression, I don't want no smoke. You're perfectly fine. God made you the way he or she did for a certain reason. I want no problems. Nice try. Yeah, you see how I bobbed and weaved up out of that? Yeah.
This is good. This feels like it's almost ready to stick a fork.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Dang,
serious.
We're gonna have to pick up on the next one.
It's about that time
to
stick a fork in it.
Hold on, let me at least wrap this thought up.
Please do. With the cutting your fingers open?
Yeah. So
because I'm having that simultaneous pain.
Okay, well, it warms my heart that you've got that level of empathy for a little of me, but at the same time, it's like, man, this isn't something that I can really describe accurately. Like, it was just one of those things, like, you had to have been there just because it happened so fast. And of course, I'm like, this is probably like my first or second year into playing guitar. And so of course, they rushed me to the whatever, they got me stitched up and fixed up, but that was a huge deterrent in playing guitar because it's my left hand. And so
how long do the stitches have to stay in your hands?
I wasn't able to play guitar for about a month. And I remember starting back, and I was just like, you know what? Let me just try to do stuff with my third finger and my pinky. And that's how I got good with my third finger and my pinky. And that's why I've got a lot of dexterity with those two.
So honestly, you got to thank your...
It really affected how I played.
That was a little manure moment in life.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, like, shout out to Miko. Miko's always trying to take credit for everything. She's always like, oh, I taught you how to play this. I'm the reason for all your success and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, I
got
guess
a sister like that.
She kind of did help develop my style, I guess. Because, like, learning to play with just the thumb and the third finger and the pinky, by the time I got my two fingers working good, I was like running with leg weights. I was like, oh, let's go. And so that kind of accelerated my learning when I was able to actually, keep playing. But yeah.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So we're going to start next episode by listening to our songs and diving into.
You don't even be telling me when you start the next episode, man. You don't even be telling me. It's all good. Stick a fork in it.
That's what you gotta do. You gotta that's the beauty of being Officer Pettis, of having the power to edit this podcast, is that you just roll it when the good stuff comes, and it can always be bonus content behind a paywall, you know?
All right.
You'll thank me for this. Not only can my voice make you money, but we're going to figure out how to monetize this damn thing so we can do more of what we love and bring, you know, our special, unique gifts into the world in ways that, you know, encourage.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm. We gotta eat too.
Well,
hey, man, the way we value things is really changing this world. Future topic.
Did you stick a fork in it yet?
Put that fork in it!
I'm just asking because I have no idea whether
Do you want to put the fork in it by hitting the space bar and officially ending the fourth episode of the SoulKast with Cash and Calliope?